While a lot of us are sleeping, custom officers in Cincinnati, they're working late into the night, searching and seizing packages.
Yeah, from big batches of drugs to dinosaur eggs, counterfeit bags, and fake IDs, they find hundreds of illegal items throughout the year.
Dinosaur eggs?
Right?
What? Jessica Schmidt went behind the scenes. What's the craziest thing that you saw?
Yeah, probably one of the craziest things that we saw was a picture of those dinosaur eggs, but we did also see some real human remains. Some of the things that these officers come across really might surprise you, and sometimes they say it even surprises them. They have found live animals and insects, and they really never know when they'll discover another package filled with drugs. It can be a dangerous job, but it's one they take a lot of pride in.
It's loud, and it's usually busy. At night, dozens of workers are sorting, searching, and seizing packages at the port of Cincinnati.
Our staff does a fantastic job at keeping bad things off the streets and keeping people safe.
Clearly a brick in that cooler.
For Acting Assistant Area Port Director Eric Zisselman, the excitement comes from the thrill of the chase.
We've had dinosaur eggs, we've had saber-toothed tiger skulls, we've seen baby cobras, we've had lizards, we've had turtles, tarantulas, whip scorpions. I mean, we've seen bushmeat, we've seen it. You name it, we've seen it.
Right now, they're even trying to track down the ethnic group that is missing this real human skull.
The cultural artifact, we intercepted it coming out of Europe, destined to the United States. We are looking to get it repatriated back to the proper group where this skull would have been originated, where it would have been modified.
Between October 2022 and September 2023, the fiscal year, they processed about 65 million packages and had more than 3,400 seizures. 814 of those were shipments stuffed with drugs.
The bad guys, they have all the time in the world to sit around and think about how they're going to beat us. And, we have to use our ingenuity to try and intercept.
While we were on site, we witnessed them finding a stash of methamphetamine hidden inside a piece of art.
So when we drilled into it, we discovered a void, tested the substance within the void, positive for methamphetamine.
And with the help of a narcotics canine trained to sniff out substances, we saw officers dig through a cooler and confirm it concealed cocaine.
It's white powder. What surprises me sometimes is their ability to make something look like it's never even been touched.
Although the way they're packed changes,
Cocaine with no salt added.
the kinds of drugs they're seeing are consistent. During the fiscal year, they seized 820 kilograms of meth, 359 kilograms of cocaine, 207 kilograms of ketamine, and 5.5 kilograms of fentanyl.
Proceeds from the narcotic sales going back to cartels, typically in Central South America, Mexico area.
It is not just drugs that they're finding here when they're looking through packages. It's also counterfeit goods. We're talking about things like counterfeit shoes and also counterfeit watches.
So whether it's purses, sandals, hats, you name it, anything that you might want, you're going to find.
They deal with credit card skimmers, counterfeit jerseys,
The quality of the printing on this is terrible.
and fake IDs, often being smuggled in for college students.
That doesn't mean that bad actors won't use this in a nefarious way and get an ID to try to gain a new identity, commit fraud in some way.
To their trained eye, there are clear signs that signal something is counterfeit.
The way these items are shipped is not the way they would be shipped if they were legitimate. And number two, when you look at an item like this and you pull it out of the shipment and you look at the quality, you can tell right away that this just doesn't meet the same quality as a genuine product.
This fiscal year, officers seized 344 counterfeit shipments, totaling more than $12 million. Zisselman says it's about more than protecting property rights.
The proceeds from those items can be used for terrorists, to support terrorists, have been proven to be used to support terrorism.
Whether it's knockoff purses, live animals, or drugs, customs officers keep busy all year, although now they are preparing for peak season.
Shipments have increased every year.
While the number of packages typically goes up during the holidays, Zisselman says the officers' dedication never lets up.
it's rewarding because you go downstairs and in the exam floor you intercept a package of methamphetamine, package of coke, fentanyl, whatever it may be, right? You know that you've done your part to at least help to the best of your ability to keep that stuff off the street.
So once an item is seized, those involved will get a notice, then they'll have the option to file a petition or a claim to try to get it back. But of course, if something illegal was inside, agencies like Homeland Security and the FBI will take over and investigate to potentially prosecute the people responsible. So we saw a lot while we were there behind the scenes, so much more, of course, that we didn't even get to see. One of the things I really took away from this was it's really crazy how some of these people are able to conceal the drugs and the other items. They literally can make it look like something has never been opened. In fact, they even mentioned that there's cans, you know, like a can of corn that you get at the store. They're now able to put drugs in a can and seal it.
Wow.
So it looks like it's never been opened.
Yeah, when you were talking about what happens to the people, because I'm just wondering, are they just waiting at the turnstile and like somebody just like taps them and just say, hey, come with me?
Right, so a lot of these shipments never actually make it there and they're just being sent through the mail. So let's say somebody in California, Oregon, wherever is waiting on the shipment, they'll actually get a letter saying, hey, you're not going to get this shipment. And then it's up to those other agencies like Homeland Security, FBI to investigate and then press the charges. The customs officers themselves will not actually press charges against those people.
Seems like they're getting more sophisticated in how they're shipping things. And when you mentioned sealing off cans, how do they stay ahead of that?
Yeah, and that's something that they were telling us is they really have a lot of pressure on them to make sure that they're keeping their eyes open and really looking closely at everything because you just never know. I think it helps with the technology that they have too. You saw some of those x-ray machines that helps them a lot when they're trying to inspect. But really, I think a lot of it just comes from experience. When you see some of those things, that's how you learn, okay, this is what they're doing now and this is what we have to look out for.
I could have watched that for like hours. I thought it was like an episode of Cops.
Show us more.
Because I just was like, wow. That's crazy.
We were there for, gosh, I think 3.5, maybe even 4 hours, and we could have stayed even longer. As we were leaving, they gave us a call and said they had another drug bust, but we were already out the door. So it really, really stays busy all night.
The dogs are amazing too.
Incredible, incredible dogs.
Yes, thank you.